Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Bob Burns. This is currently the end of March 2020. We are all sitting in our homes all over the world through this thing called the coronavirus, and I thought I'd like to try and do a little something for you, whoever you are. Is that okay? Um, this is not for sale. This is not a product. It's just me doing a little bit of something, and we're going to see what we do with it. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm a clinical hypnotist. I'm fairly well known within my industry, and I work both here in Montrose in Scotland in my therapy room, and I work in workshops internationally, fairly much around the world. My product is fairly much known in more than 85 countries, so I'm fairly well known for a little thing that I do. We'll maybe talk about that later, though. Is that okay? Um, I work with all kinds of challenges, but mainly I work with forms of anxiety. And I suppose more than that, I work with people's immune system. So you can see the link from where I'm coming from. And in what you might call a psychosomatic way. Let's talk about psychosomatic very, very briefly here. Psychosomatic is where psycho the mind tells soma the body that it's ill. Soma the body buys into that and becomes ill. As clinical hypnotists, we're quite sneaky. We can sometimes get in there and tell psycho the mind to tell soma the body that soma is well. Soma purchases that pitch, and soma the body, in fact, absolutely gets well. So psychosomatic is not imaginary, it's very, very real. The medical profession will absolutely accept that now. In fact, many doctors give lots of sugar-coated tablets quite happily in the knowledge that this psychosomatic work can indeed take place. Um, having said that, it's not just that. It's not just the kind of, I said being sneaky. It doesn't have to be sneaky. Sometimes we can just kind of do the deal with a part. So there are arguments between what's called evidence-based in our world and anecdotal evidence with regards to what's factual. No, I'm not going to go there too much, but if I can just say that in many cases, regarding anecdotal evidence shared between hundreds of highly skilled therapists around the world, we find that anecdotal evidence can in fact become evidence-based. So instead of two guys doing evidence-based medicine with a group of 20 people, we've got several hundred people together saying they're getting the same results. That's what I'm talking about. Is that okay? Today I'm going to carry out an experiment with regards to the coronavirus, or more importantly, with the immune system, and you're all invited. So for many of you, this will seem like maybe even a sham. You know, people online call everybody everything, and everything gets can become suspect. And I understand that completely. So if there's anybody who thinks it's just a little bit too woo-woo, or that I might be up to something and what have you, it's not a problem. You can switch off now and off you go. Like I said, this is mainly for people that I know and who know me or know of me. But for those of you who want to leave now, it's not a problem. You can make that happen. Okay, he's gone. So for those still watching, there are of course there's no fees involved. Like I said, if you're a working therapist and linked to the healing arts in any way, please feel free to both use this on others or simply share this clip. As you can see, it's not a highly professional job. It's me in a little wing of my cottage. I've just got a little light up in the corner. It's not meant to be. I don't want it to be. It's more importantly that this message gets across, and we see what happens with it. Yeah. For those of you who know my work, I'm famous for a term I use: real or imagined. And this will either be real or imagined. And if you want to think it's imagined, it's a waste of time. It's not a problem at all. But for some others, I hope that they'll get something from this. So I'm quite a pessimist in my work. I know that sounds crazy, but my business is is overrun with optimists who mainly get disappointed. I'm a pessimist, but I'm a positive pessimist. Yeah, I'm pretty good at what I do. I expect nothing much to happen, but I'm pretty positive in that when nothing happens, I can do something about that. You know, the old adage, what's the worst possible thing that can happen here? Okay, now that I know what the worst possible thing is, can I do something about it? So a couple of things first of all. My work is known, like I said, in a few countries around the world for a certain thing that I do. We'll get to that later. But first of all, it's imperative that I communicate properly with you and what we're going to be talking about. Communication for me is four things. It's what's said, what's heard, what's understood, and what action's taken. If any one of these four don't turn up to the ball, then there are no dances. Nothing happens. Is that understood? Are we okay with that? So it's what I say, it's how you hear me, it's if you understand me or not, and it's what action you take, or at least what action a part of you takes. And again, we'll get to that round about now. So you need to understand that the way I work, it doesn't matter if you have a positive mindset or not. How about that? It doesn't matter if you don't think this is going to work. It doesn't matter, in fact, if you're pretty sure that it won't work. I don't care about that. If you can't even be bothered to listen to me, I have no problems with that either. That wouldn't stop it from working if it's going to work. And if you're quite fed up round about now, I'm kind of with you. Don't worry about that either. You don't have to think or believe. You just have to make sure that you're not going to fight me. But I don't want you to try and help me either. You just let me do my work. Yeah. So like I said, you don't have to think or believe that this is working. The way I work it really doesn't matter. If I could mention a name, let's call him Peter. Yeah. So some time ago, a guy came to see me. He was terrified of the dual carriageway. Can't drive in a dual carriageway, and I couldn't hypnotise him at all. And this thing that I do, that didn't work. In fact, nothing worked with Peter. And the next time I was going to see him would be on the Monday. And when Peter came back to see me, I was training a student who travelled a few thousand miles to see me, to work with me for a couple of days. And in walked Peter, my first client for the 2 days, for him to watch me working in the therapy room. And when I asked Peter how it was going, he said, well, much the same as before. And I thought, wow, I could hear the heart going down of this person who I was training. Yeah. So I started scribbling away with my notes, and I said, so what did you do over the weekend? Just blabbering just words at him, you know. And he happened to mention that he'd been to Dundee, just south of where I am here, based in Montrose, for the weekend. And he'd been to see a show, and I asked him how he got there, and he told me that he drove. And I said, well, that's really interesting. How did you get back home? And he said, well, I drove back. Why? I said, well, according to your notes, you've come to see me because you can't drive on the dual carriageway. You can't do dual carriageways or motorways. Is that right? And he looked at me and said, I went to Perth on the Sunday, on the next day. I said, well, that would be twice as far again. And he said, yeah, I think so. To which I replied, well, do you think you're fixed? And he said, well, I must be. So I tell you that little quick story just to let you know that this is how we work. It doesn't matter if Peter was positive minded or not, if he thought it could work or didn't. None of that mattered. He'd heard about me and some of the work that I do. He'd come along, and I didn't need him because Peter didn't have a problem. By that I mean Peter didn't have a conscious problem. Peter had a subconscious problem. It was all inside Peter, but totally outside Peter's control. So there was no point in me talking to Peter. I needed him to be in the room so that I could talk to the part inside Peter, in such a way that that part would look at me and think, oh, he sees me. He sees me. He's not talking to Peter anymore. He's talking to me. And he's giving me some kind of argument. This is bizarre. No one else has done this before. Should I listen to him? Perhaps. And we got the result we were looking for. So, I don't know anything about the coronavirus. I know nothing at all about it. But all you need to know is that, like I said, you don't have a conscious problem. It's a subconscious problem. By that I mean, if this was a dart and I had to throw it, boom, it's gone. I had a conscious problem. I needed to get rid of the dart. I did it. Here's a subconscious problem. can't let go of the dart. By that way, you've probably got it in your heads by now, quite rightly so, that I work with some darts players, a couple of professionals as well, in fact. That's a subconscious problem right there. It's all inside them, but they can't do anything about it. And this virus is exactly like that, isn't it? None of us are responsible for it in any way, shape or form. No matter what we do, no matter what we take, we cannot control it in any way, shape or form. It's all inside of us, but it's outside our control. So that's a hell of an analogy for something much, much worse. I get that. So rather than talk to you, I need to talk to that part inside you with views of building up, or having a chance of building up, that immune system of yours. I've got some little things that I scribbled down earlier here. Like I said, I don't know anything about the virus itself, but I'm told that it isn't even alive. I'm told that it feeds off your cells after disguising itself to get into your immune system. This is very, very roughly how I'm describing this, yeah? The virus can then deceive the cell, and then once in and comfortable, kind of like a warm handshake and a smile, yeah? Once it's in and comfortable, it can then command the cell to make more virus particles, almost like an evil hypnotist, if you like, yeah? And then it travels to as many host cells as possible before the immune system recognizes, because it didn't recognize it to begin with, and when it does recognize what's going on, and then if it's not too late, it can then stop these things from happening. So it's almost like what we call in therapy breaking the hypnotic seal. How about that? If I was to link this to that, it would be like breaking a hypnotic seal. And in hypnosis we get that. I've got a friend who'll be watching this now. His name, well, let's call him George, shall we? He's a good hypnotist, a good therapist, but several years ago he had a challenge when someone was hypnotizing him because he's a really good subject, to the point of almost being dangerous. He was being hypnotized to do things against his will. So I stepped in and I broke the seal, yeah? I broke the hypnotic seal, I built it and strengthened it with something else, and he's never been bothered by that hypnotist ever again, and never will be. Wouldn't it be great if this analogy that I'm using now could actually be used something like that? If we could make contact with the immune system and give it a warning, and suddenly it looked at us and smiled and thought, well, okay, thanks for the heads up. I'll have a look at that, and I'll see what I can do with this. And like I said, I understand that for some of you listening to this, it will sound like total, complete, and absolute nonsense, absolute garbage, complete woo-woo. That's okay. And I apologise if I've riled you in any way by even thinking like that. But, you know, when you've done some of the work that we've done over so many years, we get some kind of strange results, yeah? So, like I said, remember, to the person I'm talking about right now, that once something happened with an immune system, you don't have a complete contact with your immune system. So it's not you that has a problem with it. It's like a kind of like a subconscious problem. It's inside there. So nobody said we can't have fun in therapy. Remember, I told you I came up with a crazy idea of mine around 7 years ago. I'm going to try and share it with you now. It's a thing called the swan. And I'd like you to do it with me. Some of you won't, you'll just stare into the screen. That's okay, don't worry about that. But some of you will, and that's great. Hopefully you'll get something out of it. So I need to say very, very quickly that I don't care too much about what actually physically happens as we do this. Remember I mentioned Peter? So if I'm looking for something to happen and it doesn't happen, and you feel it's not happening, don't worry about that. That's not your job, that's my job. Remember what I said? Don't fight me, but don't try and help me. Your job is just to flop. Your job is to flop and just trust me that I've got an inkling of what I'm doing, and we'll see how we get on with that. Is that okay? So the swan, without getting into it, we're just going to do it. It's as simple as that. I'm going to ask you to use the opposite hand of mine. So I don't want you using the hand at this side of your body. I want you using the hand at this side. I say that because I don't know how this is coming across. Sometimes it gets left to right, doesn't it? It gets mixed up. You see that the numbers in someone's shirt mix up. I'm holding up my right hand right now. I want you to pick up your left hand, unless it's reversed, yeah? Then I want you to pick up the one that's parallel with this. And all I want you to do is hold it, kind of like a swan, yeah? But I don't want you to do this with your hand. I don't want you holding it like so. I want you letting this flop, just like that. That's right. Just want you letting the hand flop. You see that when people let the hand flop, if they hold it like that, you can tell they're holding it if you're a therapist. But if it flops, it's normally like a forefinger that kind of half goes up into the air and the fingers kind of go down the curve like that. Of course, everyone's different. But if you've got a desk in front of you, that would be handy, or an armchair, that would be great. You can stop this now and then restart it again when that happens. I'm quite comfortable because I've got an arm going across here just like so. And I've done this pretty much thousands of times, and absolutely certainly with well over 1,000 people, put it that way, probably a couple thousand. So all we're going to do is this. Remember we agreed that you don't need to have a manual, do you? Wouldn't it be great if you could give me your manual, I could read it and then know how to fix it? Right, you don't have a manual, so I'm going to, that's a good Scottish word, I'm going to ficher with you. F-I-C-H-E-R, as in the word loch. I'm going to ficher with you. I'm going to fiddle about with little parts within you and see what happens. You don't have to go into hypnosis. We're not going to do any hypnotic induction. But later at some point, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And hey, we'll see what happens. Is that okay? But right now, we're going to try this just for a bit of fun. Just for a bit of fun. It's called the swan. I want you to put your arm like so. And then in a second, I'm going to talk to your hand. Or rather, I'm going to talk to a part within your subconscious through that hand of yours that's kind of just hanging there like that, yeah? I don't want you to do anything to help me, remember? Whatever happens, don't you help me. But I also don't want you to fight me. So whatever happens, you allow it to happen and trust me that I know what I'm talking about, yeah? I've got more than a fair idea. And then we'll see what happens. This is also important. If something happens hugely with your hand, it were to move, that would be great. If nothing happens, remember Peter, he was not very good at this at all. But we got a fix after one session. So it's maybe the part inside there is actually, wow, aware of me, but it just can't move that hand for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. It's like I say to some of my students, ask me my name, and they say, what's your name? And I say, Bob. And I say, did you hear that? And they say, yes. And I ask them again, what's my name? And they ask me my name, and I say, Bob, did you hear that? And they say, yes. So we don't have to turn it into a wonderful circus. Is that okay? We just need to see what happens. Ready to go? So, just sit there nice and ready with your hand just like that. And all we do is this. I'm not talking to that person I was talking to just 5 seconds ago. I'm not talking to you anymore. But I'm talking to that part within them. You can see me through their eyes right now. Their eyes are wide open. They're looking at the screen. I want to see if you can do this. Hey, if you can do it, fantastic. If you can't, don't worry about it. But I want you to know that I see you. Is that okay? I see you. And I'm talking to you. That's my cat through the house. Cassie she always gets involved. She knows what I'm talking to. Parts within people. So let's see what happens. I'm talking to you right now. I want you to go into the hand. That hand that's hanging there right like that. Just like that right now. And as crazy as this sounds, I want you to go into one particular finger. And I want to see if it's possible that you can kind of tweak that finger. It could be a forefinger that lifts, a small finger that goes up, or a middle finger, or a thumb that twitches. So go into it now and try and twitch one of that fingers for me now. Now I know that there's lots of people watching this, hopefully, and they'll be thinking, this man is crazy, there's nothing happening. But I'm just going to tell you now, there'll be hundreds of people hopefully watching this, and their fingers are going mental. So let's see what we get as we carry on, yeah? Same part I'm talking to, I'm back talking to you again. If you can tweak that finger, you can tweak a different one, yeah? That's it. Try and tweak a different finger for me. I'm just getting a little bit in my forefinger now. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've got a little bit of thing going with my forefinger. And I'm going to ask you if you could try a different finger for me now. So me talking to my own part within myself. And I think I've got a little movement within my small finger. I'm not really great at the fingers, but I'm good at this next part for some crazy reason. I want to do it with you as well, yeah? I'm talking to the same part inside the person now. The part that moved the fingers, or tried to move the fingers, thank you. But now that we've revved the engines up a little bit, can you take a hold of that whole hand for me now, please? and turn it round towards the face. Yeah, just the whole hand. And I'll ask my part to do the same for me as well. See, the dreamers are the saviours of the world, but only when they wake up. Yeah, only when they wake up and they want to say hi. So I want you to allow that hand to turn all the way around towards your face now. Yeah, just like that. And as that part comes all the way around like so, you're either able to do this or you're not, but as long as you listen to me, that's great. Don't worry about that. And maybe later you can practice. You can get this better and better the next time you do it. Don't worry. And that same part, if I could ask you to give them a wave now, maybe, that's part inside the person. Do you think you can take their hand and wave it? I'm not very good at waving myself, but see if you can do that for them. Now, I know that I've got my forefinger. You probably can't see it in this screen, but my forefinger is actually waving at me. Other people, the whole hand goes mental. But that's great. And the same hand and that same arm, you can take that hand and that arm and turn it around to face me now, please. Again, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to that part inside the person. If you can turn that hand around now to face me, that would be just swell. Thank you ever so much. So I really appreciate that. And now what we can do is, you, the person I'm talking to now, you can just take that hand all the way down for me. That wasn't too bad now, was it? So with some of you, you would have got a surprise. Other people I've worked with, my own family members, you know, half a year, nothing's ever happened, and suddenly the thing goes wild. It's quite crazy. Clients will come and see me, nothing happens, then they go home and they tell me the hand won't stop waving to them. It's just a crazy thing. Some people will call it an ideomotor response, and you can look that up and you can Google it to find out what that is, but it's not. It can be, but it's not. The swan is something completely different. But now that I know there's a part inside you, and we're doing it this way through the net, and I don't even know who you are. We're not even doing a one-on-one on this. I'm talking to an empty room in here, but I'm hoping there's somebody watching this. Let's try something else now. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit weirder, I suppose. So what I want you to do is this. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just relax. I can tell you this now. I don't have to wait till you're in hypnosis or relax or anything like that to tell you. I can say this quite open, because that part within your subconscious, that part that tweaked that finger, that moved that hand, maybe, or at least try to, is listen to me. And what is going to happen is, if once your eyes are closed, if there was a fire in your home, don't worry, you'd know about it. Your eyes will open. If there was an intruder come into the room, your eyes will open again. If you don't hear my voice for whatever reason, that means that this machine or whatever has broken down, your eyes will open, you'll come back to normal. Everything will be fine. You won't get stuck in any area at all. It's never happened. It never will. It is impossible. You're fine. You're safe with me. I promise you. So, if you're ready for this, we're going to just do a little, I don't know, a 10-minute or so jaunt and see what happens, with the sole purpose of strengthening your immune system, because right now we've got this horrendous situation in the world right now. I'm told it's not even alive. It doesn't even know what it's doing. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if there's any awareness within this virus or not. But we need to make sure your immune system can become stronger and stronger. Let's do that now, shall we? And let's see how we get on with this. And you can feel free to contact me anytime after this. And please feel free to do this with family members, loved ones, clients, anybody you want to, it's fine. I'm not asking you for any money at this point, and I want it any time in the future. This is for you. It simply works, okay? So I want you to make sure you're comfortable. You can be lying down, listen to my voice right now. You can change your mind and be lying down as long as you can hear me. You can be in a nice hard chair, an up chair, or a nice soft chair, anything you want. But I want you to relax. And all I want you to do at this point is take a nice deep breath all the way in. And simply allow your eyes to close. It's as simple as that. This is not hypnosis. You are just in a nice waking state. Listen to every single sound I make. And like I said, some of you will want to keep your eyes open, I suppose. But it's far, far better if you close your eyes and relax. I can assure you of that. Far better for you to just close your eyes and simply relax. And all I want you to do is this now. Breathe. Simply breathe. I want you to concentrate on your heels. Tell your heels to relax. And just allow that relaxation to go all the way to the tips of your toes. There you go. You just allow it to happen. You don't do anything to please me. You don't do anything to fight me. You simply allow it to happen, and it absolutely happens. You just allow that to happen. And what we're using here, this relaxation thing that I'm using here, it's a strange thing. A lot of people think, it'll never work. Oh, this is rubbish. Oh, I wish I never started this. I can't see any way this is going to help me. This exercise I'm doing here, it's a little bit like gravity. And gravity says that whether you believe in me or not, whether you think this is a good idea or not, whether you think this is working or not, if you step outside this window, you will go splat, for I am gravity. So this stuff works just fine. Your job is to do nothing. So I want you to allow that relaxation to come back from your toes, back into your heels again. I'm not going to be talking any low, deep, hypnotic voice and slowly. We don't need to do that. We just need to make contact. I want you to allow that relaxation to go from your heels up and into your ankles, right up and into your calves, every nerve, every fibre, every muscle, just completely letting go. As you allow that now to go right up and into your knees, the bone, the cartilage, now the long muscles of your thighs, up and into your hips and around your hips, into the small of your back, and from the small of your back around and into your tummy, right there, your core being, your lower tummy. You just breathe. You just breathe and you just relax. And you allow that feeling again to go up through your tummy, right through your diaphragm, into your heart and your lungs. Again, you're breathing perfectly, your heart's beating fine. You might even feel a tweak now and again in that fingers, that hand that moved earlier, yeah? Yeah, round about now. That's right, it's just a strange feeling there. Don't worry about that. You're not alone while you're doing this. Now I want you to allow that feeling to go into your shoulders and from there down through your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers, your fingertips, and you just drift and dream and float. You allow it to come right back to your shoulders again, crossing into your chest. Now at this point in time, I want you to just take a final deep breath all the way in. And as you let it go, your spine turns to jelly and you just completely relax. Although if you're in a chair, you will not fall off. You're fine and firm. Your legs are like tree trunks in the ground. You're just feeling just fantastic. You allow it to go into your shoulders now, and into your neck and the back of your head and the top of your head and your forehead and your eyes, the muscles around your eyes, your cheeks, your lips and your mouth, and down to your chest again, right down through your diaphragm into your lower tummy, and you just completely let go, just like so. And as you let go, all I want you to do is this. I want you to allow, here's that word again. Here's that word again. I want you to allow all anxieties to leave your body now. Just like smoke, spiraling away from a small campfire, just getting higher and higher, past the ceiling, past the clouds, past the moon and the sun and the stars, to the far edge of the universe, where it just totally and completely just goes. It just absolutely goes. Same with worries. Worries of the past, worries of the present, worries of the future. I want you to allow all worries to leave your body right now, just like so. That's right. Just floating away from you, just getting higher and higher and higher, till the worries join the anxieties. It's just gone. Just absolutely gone. So you don't try and do this. You just allow it to happen. That's the secret. You do nothing. You just allow it to happen. And you know, human beings are funny creatures. All of us, certainly including me, we all have feelings of guilt and shame and remorse. And sometimes we've got something to feel guilty about in our lives, and we say we're sorry and we move on. But at other times, people accuse us of things that we're not guilty of, and somehow we harness this stuff, and it breaks us. I want you, if you've got any feelings of guilt, shame, or anything, any form of remorse, real or imagined, you let it go now. Again, just like smoke, spiraling away from a small campfire, you let it leave your body now, right up past that ceiling, that clouds, past that moon and that sun and that stars, the far edge of the universe. It's just gone. It's just gone, leaving you just feeling fantastic. And as I have you sitting there, just feeling fantastic, you just breathe. Nice deep breath all the way in again. And just allow yourself to just drift and dream and float, and just tune into my voice. It's just the timbre of my voice I want you to listen to. It doesn't matter if you understand a single word I say, I promise you. Just It just doesn't matter. You just drift and relax right there. And as that happens, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm talking to that part I was talking to you about putting get a feeling into your hand, remember? Or a finger, or a wrist, or an arm. And even right now, it could be in your gut, your lower stomach. It could be anything at all. But I'm talking to a part within you. A part within you that's even at the other side, right deep in there, within your immune system. So I'm now talking to you, that part within the person I'm talking to. I want to thank you for allowing me to talk to you. I want to really thank you for allowing me to talk to you. You heard what I said earlier. We're not doing anything else tonight other than talking to you and the cover and the control that you have over the immune system of this person. That is, it's not a monster. It's just a thing coming our way. It's a virus. The idea is it doesn't really know what it is and what it's doing or why, but the funny thing is it's got this skill of sneaking into or just outside that immune system, of hiding itself, of a covert operation so in such a way that it kind of squeeze and push and lock and twist and turn and bite and cut and enter that immune system so that it can talk to the other cells as well. It disguises itself so well and it gets them to replicate. So I want you to be aware of this now. And what we want to do now is this, that immune system, just in your imagination, because you are a powerful, powerful, powerful creature. I want you to imagine that immune system right now being rock hard, like titanium, absolutely like titanium. And I pour in through the top of the head of this person, beautiful, white, strong light. It goes to every nerve, every fibre, every muscle of their system right now. And it goes right down to that gut and up to that heart and that lungs, right through their whole entire cardiovascular system, including their nose, the back of their throat, their mouth. And it just fixes, cleanses everything, and makes it 10 times stronger. In fact, 1,000,000 times stronger now. Just like that, Titans, just like titanium. So I want you to be aware that now, you are aware of what I've said, and I want you to be happy to work with us on this, to ensure that that immune system is now completely, totally, and absolutely solid, strengthened over 1,000,000 times. That's what I'd like you to do. I'd like that to be your job at now. And at any time, if you want to talk to me, you'll find a way to do that. You'll find a way to do that. I want to thank you for what you've done this night. We don't have to have a long session. It's a fairly straightforward message I wanted to give you, and I want to thank you for accepting that message from me. So I want to build now an impregnable bubble around this person. An impregnable bubble. An absolutely impregnable bubble. Now that the anxieties and the worries of the past and the worries of the present and the worries of the future can leave, the guilt, the feelings of guilt, shame and remorse, real or imagined, it doesn't matter, that's gone. Now that I've poured in this, I've just poured in a complete white light of confidence and happiness. That's confidence and happiness for them and their loved ones and families. Now that we've poured that in, we solidify, completely solidify this impregnable bubble. And inside this bubble is you and them with this incredible immune system, absolutely 1,000,000 times stronger, ready for any battle that might commence. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you. Person I'm talking to now, guess what? I'm going to count up to 5, you come all the way back, feeling just absolutely fantastic. A new feeling of confidence that you can go forward and ask yourself the question, what's the worst possible thing that can happen? Yeah, but I can handle it. So 1, being aware of my voice, and 2, taking a nice drink of fresh mountain water, all the way from the Highlands of Scotland. 3, awareness coming back into your body in every single shape and form. 4, take a nice deep breath all the way in for me again, and in 5, you can open your eyes. And here we are. That wasn't too bad, was it? I wish you well. I wish you a safe journey, and hopefully we'll get the chance to talk to you again.